And joining us now for MPT's HBCU Week is Dr. David Wilson, the president of Morgan State University. Dr. Wilson, great to have you back on MPT.
Hey, Jeff, it is always an honor and a pleasure to be with you and to talk all things Morgan.
Well, let's start with this newspaper headline that I just saw yesterday. Morgan State enrollment is surging, it says. Tell us about that.
Actually, for the third consecutive year, we have seen an interest in Morgan, the likes of which are historic. We, over the last 3 years, have had applications in the 20 plus thousands. This year, I'm sure that was racing more toward 30,000 applications for about 2,500 or so slots in our entering class. And so last year, we had historic freshman enrollment. We expect to have another historic freshman class this year. And more importantly, in our strategic plan, we had indicated that we wanted to grow our enrollment from what was about 7,200 students to about 10 to 12,000 over the next 7 or 8 years. But we feel pretty confident that when classes start, that we'll have over 10,000 students here on the campus, which means that we will have reached that goal 5 or so years earlier than we had expected.
What is driving this Morgan momentum, would you say? Aside, of course, from the leadership from the president's office.
I wouldn't put so much into that. However, it's just really a compilation of a number of things, if you will, and neither one of those is more important than the other. But you have to put all of those things together, and then when students and their parents look at an institution, they have to come away thinking that that is an institution of high consequentiality. That is an institution with a vision that really mirrors the work of the future of work. And that is an institution that takes pride in itself. And has a world-class faculty. So all those things here at Morgan are in alignment. So number one, we have undergone a period here where we've looked at our curriculum and we have brought online many undergraduate degree programs here that are the only such degree programs in the state. And those degree programs are in alignment with how we are viewing the future of work and how we are viewing the work of the future. So we have here a baccalaureate program in cloud computing, a baccalaureate program in embedded systems, a baccalaureate program in mechatronics engineering, et cetera. And students are really gravitating toward those kinds of programs. So curricular realignment. Number two, Morgan had gone through decades and decades of low capital investment in the campus. And consequently, the campus just did not look the way that it should look. And the facilities on the campus, many of them, did not speak of world-class laboratories, world-class classrooms, ideation spaces, innovation spaces. And so we are now in a period where some of that is being corrected. And so with the new facilities, the expansion of the campus in terms of capital, that also is a part of that equation. And then the world-class faculty. I mean, we are attracting here at Morgan some of the top faculty in the nation who really want to be a part of something exciting, something that is giving them an opportunity to never have to question what they teach, what they research, and the kind of impact they can have on both the learning of our students and on innovation and research opportunities. And so students want to be in a place that speaks to them, where they don't have to ask every single day, does this university really think I belong here? And here at Morgan, our students never have to ask that question. And so word has gotten out. It's all over the nation. We'll have students here in the fall from every state in the nation and 70 countries.
And 10,000 students on your lovely campus creates a little bit of a problem. It's a good problem to have, but you're going to have trouble placing everybody, particularly freshman housing, right?
Yes, that of course is a challenge for us right now, and we are experiencing some growing pains in that area. We are very communicative to our parents and students about this particular period because it kind of crept up on us, as I said, a bit quicker than we had had anticipated. But we opened a new 670-bed residential facility in August of last year. We are on track to open another 600+ bed facility on the campus in August of this coming year. And then we are in the early stages of discussions with the Morgan State University Board of Regents about building yet a third tower on the campus that possibly could open in late 2026 or 2027. And so we don't think that this demand for a Morgan degree and a Morgan education is going to subside substantially in the foreseeable future. And so now this is the time for us to prepare for the long-term interest that we know we'll see in this institution.
Give us an update, if you would, on R1 status and maybe a refresher on what R1 means.
Yeah, and so there's something out there called the Carnegie system of classifications of institutions of higher education in the United States. So we have roughly 4,000 four-year colleges and universities in the United States. And so all of those institutions are classified a certain way. So we have X number of institutions that are baccalaureate degree institutions. We have Y number of institutions that are master's level comprehensive institutions. And then we have another layer that Carnegie will classify as doctoral universities, R3, meaning that they have just moved from master's level into doctoral research. But then the next layer is doctoral research universities, high research, R2. And that is where Morgan is now. There's about 145 universities of that particular group that I spoke about that is now in that category. But then the very highest classification is R1, and that's very high research. And those are, of course, institutions where you have most of your Ivy League institutions there, Big Ten, University of Chicago, all of them, University of Pittsburgh. All of these institutions are there. It's about 145. But there's no HBCU at that very high research level, what I call the penthouse of research. Now, it is important for Morgan to go from high research R2 to R1 because, number one, we have a very specialized mission, and that is the state of Maryland has designated us as its preeminent public urban research institution. And so we are the only comprehensive public research university in Baltimore City. And Jeff, I often say that we don't have a peer higher ed institution in the state because of that. And so as such, when you look at cities the size of Baltimore around the nation, those cities have not reached or will not reach their optimum level of growth, their optimum level of quality living, their optimum level of microeconomic development if there is not anchored in that city the type of institution that Morgan is and is becoming, a very high research institution. And so you can start with Philadelphia. Of course, you have Temple University. In Atlanta, you have Georgia State. In Milwaukee, you have the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee. In Detroit, you have Wayne. So I could go on and on. And so that's why it's important for Morgan to be that very high research institution, because we're not going anywhere. We are excited about being in the city of Baltimore and to address the research questions that we think we can address with the world-class diverse faculty that we have that will deliver evidence-based results to enable policymakers and philanthropists and other investors to know what to do with on Monday morning.
Well, so Morgan isn't going anywhere, and I saw that Dr. Wilson isn't going anywhere either. You've been there since 2010, I believe, and I saw that you just signed a 7-year contract extension. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. Yes, it was an honor for the Board of Regents to indicate to me that they were more than satisfied with the direction that the university is going. And with the leadership that we have assembled here to take us in that direction, and then to put in front of me an extension that eventually I signed.
Lastly, when the people of Maryland think of Morgan, when they think of HBCUs, but specifically Morgan, what do you want them to think about?
Oh, I want them to think about a dynamic university that historically and into the future will always meet the moment. It will meet the moment with the right perspective, with always an eye toward addressing some things that could make individuals uncomfortable. Social kinds of issues, racial injustice, the lack of economic opportunity for everyone, marginalization, and how do we ensure that individuals are met wherever they need to be met, and they can be moved into higher echelons of prosperity. I want them to think about Morgan as the most consequential institution in our state and in the nation that will not run away from whatever the moment is presenting to us. And this is the message that I deliver every single day to our students, that you are here at Morgan during an incredible time. And you know what that time is, Jeff? It is climbing time. It is the time now for you to move from ground zero and up the ladder and continue to climb to destinations yet unknown. And this is what I call meeting the moment. And I want individuals to know that Morgan State University will always meet the moment and will always have an environment where students are expected to continually climb higher and higher and higher and be prepared to meet whatever the challenges they face.
Inspiring words from Dr. David Wilson, president of Morgan State University. Sir, we appreciate your time.
It's always a pleasure being with you.
Visit mpt.org/HBCU for more information on HBCU Week, which begins September the 4th.